Most folks think that it's a strange occupation. Some folks call us a deranged aggregation. We can't help it, we're just happy this way.
Mama always wanted me to be your physician.
Dad said he'd rather I become a beautician, but we can't help it, we're just happy this way. 'Cause it sure beats working for a living. It ain't much for living these days. It sure beats working for a living. We're just happy this way.
Okay, back to work.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Winkler, what's wrong?
It's just such a shock seeing Buddy's name on the screen like that. I mean, his being deceased and all.
Well, we thought we should list somebody as producer.
And why not Buddy? Still does what he did before.
Just doesn't come in as often.
Well, as widow for the past 2 months, I'm deeply touched. But I couldn't help but notice that everybody gets a credit for what they do, and well, I'm kind of new to the business and all, but I was wondering if there's ever a credit for receptionist?
I've never heard of a receptionist credit. Have you, Brooks?
Let me think. Dumbo, no. 101 Dalmatians, no. But I'll be happy to look at it again for you, just to check.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
I'll be in my room when you're finished with the exposure sheets, Andrea.
Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. Here's the letter to the network you wanted me to write for you. Pretty soon I'll be typing them. I'm taking a course.
I'll miss the little hearts over the eyes.
Me too. I didn't know you were still living here, Skip.
Well, I'm sort of on a limited income.
And it's close to work, too. I was just making a joke. Everyone's so clever around here, I was hoping maybe it had rubbed off on me a little.
Oh, it has, Mrs. Winkler.
Really? You think so?
Sure.
Oh, good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Oh, men are so messy. I was always picking up after Buddy. He used to drop his pants in the darndest places.
So I've heard. Here's the exposure sheets for the pencil test.
Oh, thanks.
Anything else I can do for you? Sharpen your pencils, shine your shoes, floss your teeth? Oh, I'm just trying to be helpful.
I don't know how you can live here, Skip. It's so dark and cramped. And look at this puddle on the floor.
The waterbed has a leak. I've got to get that patched.
Well, a person needs more space than this. Take my place, for instance, you know, Casa Contento. If anything, I've got too much room.
Well, if you ask me, you can never have too much room.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh, good. There you are. I was wondering if you'd like to have lunch with me.
Thanks, Aggie, but I've got to go over these exposure sheets.
I wasn't talking to you.
You mean me? Oh, well, I'd love to have lunch.
Wonderful.
Only I don't eat lunch. That's how I keep in shape. I spend my lunch hour walking from one little boutique to another.
Oh, well, isn't that a coincidence? I do the very same thing.
Really?
Yes. I never eat lunch. In fact, I have the appetite of a bird. Oh, those noisy pipes.
Yeah, my pipes sound like that whenever I've had Mexican food. That was a joke.
Oh.
But seriously, I think it would be loads of fun. I'll take you to this cute little dress shop I found.
Oh, then I'll take you to my favorite boutique.
Boutique? I always figured Aggie bought her clothes at police auctions.
Aggie, what do you think of this?
Oh, well, it's a lovely color.
Maybe it's a little too racy, though.
My thoughts exactly.
But I just love racy things.
Who doesn't?
I'll take it.
Wise choice.
I used to call this my credit card diet. You shop instead of eat.
While we're on the subject of credit, have you noticed that Buddy still gets one as producer of the show?
Yes, isn't that sweet?
Yes. Well, no disrespect to Buddy intended, but maybe the credit should go to somebody who's actually alive and doing the job.
Well, I hadn't thought of that.
Someone who really knew Buddy, who could carry on in his tradition, follow in his footsteps.
You mean me?
Oh, no, not exactly. I mean, it's wonderful the way you've been pitching in as receptionist, but as owner of the company, I think you should have a more prestigious title, like, executive producer.
Oh, that sounds too complicated a job for me.
No, nonsense. Very often, executive producers are the husbands or wives of stars. One was even the star's hairdresser.
I do my own hair all the time. Maybe I could do it.
That's the spirit! Now, about the position of producer, who's second in command, but actually does all the work.
These are not your size, Mrs. Winkler, but they might work if you never bend over.
Thanks. I'm going to go try these on. I'll be back in a sec.
Aggie, what are you...
Brooks, I'm here with Mrs. Winkler. She practically dragged me into this place. She's in the dressing room right now, trying something on.
My son Bumps gave me some money to buy a Mother's Day gift for Bibi, my wife, his mother.
Mother's Day gift?
Bibi and I have been married close to 40 years now, and some of the zing has gone out of it, so I just thought that something from a place like this might add a little spice to our life.
You're a pervert.
Well, that's what Bibi says. I'll see you back at the office.
Isn't that adorable?
Yes, it's just as cute as it can be.
Oh, I bet you look darling in that.
Me? Oh, no.
Would you like to try that on?
What?
Go ahead.
Well, it's not really me.
It looks better on the body than it does on the hanger. Usually.
Everybody, I want you to meet the new Aggie Aylesworth.
Oh, good. I couldn't stand the old one.
Aggie? Oh, come on in. Ta-da! I just had to buy it for her.
Why?
It's really different.
I'll say. I've never seen anybody with ribs on their back before.
Come on, you jokers. Got back to work. Skip. I'm starving. Is there anything to eat around here? A candy bar, some peanuts?
Yeah, there's some instant soup in the cupboard there.
Skip? Skip?
Yes.
I was just wondering what everybody's reaction would be if someone who's sort of young and kind of inexperienced and hasn't been here too long is all of a sudden made the executive producer of our show.
Well, Mrs. Winkler, I think the people who have been working here a long time might resent somebody who's only been here a short time getting a title like that.
You do?
I really do.
Even if that person does that person's own hair?
Even then.
Do you think Bibi would look as good as you do in that dress?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe they'll take it back.
Did I wake you, Brooks?
Oh, not at all.
Well, my waterbed burst, and everything's soaked. My clothes, my shoes. The whole room is flooded and I have no place to sleep.
BB Bumps and I were just getting up to go grunion hunting. You're welcome to join us.
In the middle of the night?
Grunion are little fish that come in at high tide to lay their eggs in the sand. What you do see is sneak up on them when they're not looking and grab a handful.
Sounds like fun.
You can help us keep an eye on Bumps. He likes to squish them between his toes.
Actually, I was just calling to find out if you had Roland's number.
This is Roland's answering machine. Roland is currently asleep. So leave your name and he'll get back to you. Hey.
This was just skip Roland. Forget it.
I will.
And I tried Marty and Andrea, but they didn't answer. So I was wondering if you still had all that room up there.
Well, I'd love some company, Skip. I gave the help the weekend off, so I'm all alone. Except for Marty, but I'm sure he won't mind.
Marty's up there?
Hey, I'm just kidding you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Sure wish I could tell when she's kidding.
Those wet things and into something warm.
Maybe I shouldn't be here.
Where else are you going to go at 3 in the morning? Besides, there's a jillion rooms here. Hey, I can fix you something to eat. Only I'm not a real good cook.
I think I'd really like to get some sleep.
Or we could just get some sleep. I'm easy. It wasn't a joke that time.
Sorry. I guess I was hungry after all.
Well, I know how to make ham and cheese. I'm right. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Can I help you with anything?
Just help me carry all this stuff into the other room, okay? No, it's really nice that you're here. The servants get all bent out of shape if I want to have a little chat in the middle of the night. And I don't speak that much Spanish anyway. Have you ever had a servant?
No. I had a dog once.
Oh, a dog. It's nice. Yeah, just great. I was raised in a trailer in Vegas, and my mom was allergic to animals, so I never got to have any kind of pet. I think she was a little allergic to me, too. What are your folks like?
Oh, they're terrific. Yeah, I think you'd really like them.
Oh, I doubt you'd like my mother very much. It's possible you'd like my father, but I never really knew him. He sort of split when I was a baby. My mom, she's a manicurist. She's always been bitter because she never had a singing career.
What stopped her?
Well, she had like this horrible voice. The most expensive jelly in the world comes in these.
That was a joke, right?
Get us some milk, will you?
Okay. Sounds like you had an unusual childhood.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. See, I had like these sort of large bosoms.
Did you?
You're a guy, so you probably think it's terrific, but it isn't. It's a real burden. The boys would stare, and the girls would whisper and make jokes. Everybody figured that somebody who was built like me had to be loose. And I was, a little. More than the other girls, anyway. I guess I just wanted to be wanted. Oh, I'm going on and on. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I do. I was pretty shy and awkward. I spent a lot of time by myself. So I'd create these fantasy worlds with weird characters. And then I began to draw them and wrote stories about them. And then one day it hit me. This is what I want to do more than anything else.
And here you are. Oh, I just love happy endings. But I can't believe you were ever shy and awkward. I mean, you're so sure of yourself now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You practically run the show. If someone dumb like me were in charge, the show would go right down the tubes.
Mrs. Winkler, you are definitely not dumb.
I am, truly. I never got past 10th grade.
But being smart doesn't have anything to do with school.
You don't think I'm dumb?
No. No, I don't.
Well, maybe you're right. I'm smart enough to know that you're not going to try to get me into bed tonight. Are you? I think that's about the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Why do we have to wait for the lunch truck? Why don't we make our own coffee? Go ahead. I didn't mean me. Brooks, what happened to you?
I took the family grunion hunting Saturday.
Oh, I've heard those grunion get vicious when they're cornered.
Bumps buried my keys in the sand, so I had to leave the car at the beach and walk to work this morning. On the way here, I got mugged. I just got back from the emergency room.
The waterbed burst in Skip's room. The carpet is completely ruined. What happened to your head, Brooks?
I took the family grunion hunting Saturday.
Where is Skip anyway? Huh? He's gonna have to clean up that mess.
Must have had to stay someplace else.
Where's that lunch truck? I refuse to start Monday morning without a half a gallon of coffee first. What happened to your head, Brooks, for God's sakes?
I took the family grunion hunting Saturday.
Where did Skip stay then? Henry, do you know?
Bumps buried...
No, I do not. It's none of your business how I spent my weekend or if someone spent the weekend with me. And even if it was your business, which it is not, I wouldn't tell you. If, in fact, there was anything to tell, which you'll never know if there is or isn't.
Well, I guess we know who spent the weekend alone.
Where's the lunch truck? I'm dying.
Stay here.
What are you doing, Skip?
Don't want anybody to see me.
Why not?
I just don't think it would look too good. Us coming in together, me wearing Mr. Winkler's clothes.
Maybe you're right. Why don't you go in first, and I'll park the car.
I'm just gonna try and sneak into my room and change.
I'll drive around and come in from the front.
Morning.
What are you doing in Buddy's clothes? That's his favorite jumpsuit and his favorite shoes. What are you doing in Buddy's shoes?
Skip's shoes got all wrecked. Isn't it lucky that he and Buddy are the same size? I don't mean they're the same size. Their feet are. Oh, Andrea, could you wait a minute? I have a very important announcement I was going to make later, but what the heck, since we're all here, I'll just make it now. Sit down, everybody. Brooks, what on earth happened to your head?
I took the family grunion... Oh, the hell with it.
Well, that's a relief. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I've called you all here. I've always wanted to say that. And, well, the reason is Aggie.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you. On Friday, Aggie brought to my attention the fact that our show needs a new producer. And I really value her advice and counsel. And I think it's typical of her to be so concerned. Her devotion to Buddy Winkler Productions should be an inspiration to us all. Which is why, at her suggestion, I've decided that our producer should no longer be Buddy, who is now with Walt Disney. And I know you'll be as pleased as I am when I name as our producer, Skip Tarkenton.
Oh. Oh, no, Mrs. Winkler. I'm very flattered, of course, but absolutely not. It's out of the...
Now, Skip, we talked and talked all weekend. And I'm absolutely certain, beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, that you're the person to fill Buddy's shoes.
In a manner of speaking.
Nobody can say you didn't earn it.
Hold it. What about me?
Oh, yes. And for making this wonderful suggestion, I'm naming you Employee of the Month. Congratulations.
Gosh, what a surprise. You know, on Friday, Skip's just one of us peons. Come Monday, he's our producer. Now, what do you suppose transpired during those 48 hours?
Golly, I don't have the slightest idea.
Oh, I know what happened. They just talked and talked and talked all weekend.
Evie and I haven't talked like that in 6 months. Even then, she cut our conversation off in mid-sentence.
You guys are disgusting.
Why? How do you think Skip got the job?
I don't care how Skip got the job. I resent the fact that you turned this place into a locker room. Next, you'll be snapping each other with towels.
They were just having a little fun, Andrea. They didn't mean anything by it.
Well, knock it off anyway. I'm not one of the guys, you know?
You're right, Andrea. You're absolutely right. I should know better. Those were sexist remarks, and I'm ashamed I said them. I'm sorry.
Okay, I just felt I had to say something.
Oh, and I'm glad you did.
Anybody go to Pancho's for lunch?
Sure, as soon as we're finished here. And hey, again, I'm real sorry if I offended you. Chicks, you believe them?
Okay, I've had just about enough of this.
Enough of what, Skip?
Of what you're thinking.
We're not thinking anything, Skip.
You think you're paranoid, Skip?
I'm not paranoid. And don't call me Skip.
Right, Mr. Tarkenton.
That's not what I meant. Oh, geez, this is ridiculous.
And we never thought for a moment that spending the weekend with Mrs. Winkler would get you that producer's job, did we, guys?
Nope.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I didn't either.
Nothing happened, for crying out loud.
Hey, who said anything happened? Did I say anything happened? No. Did Roland? No. Did Brooks?
Well...
No, Brooks did not.
I don't care what you think. Well, that's not true. I do care. But what matters most is that I know nothing happened and Mrs. Winkler knows nothing happened. And you should all know that the worst possible thing I could have done was go to bed with my boss.
Hey, if you say nothing happened, then that's exactly what did happen.
Hope you mean that.
Oh, we mean that.
Okay.
You know, it just occurred to me how it must have looked to you guys this morning. I mean, with Skip driving my car and all. You must have thought that we spent the whole weekend making love, right? Well, we did.
She's kidding.
Mrs. Winkler, tell him you're kidding. Mrs. Winkler.
Next, a drug addict escapes with a woman prisoner on Hill Street Blues. Tomorrow night, it's an Easter surprise as those lovable Smurfs celebrate the holiday in a fun-filled Friday special. Then it's the Berenstain Bears with a holiday surprise of their own. Later, following The Master, see NBC reports Assault on Big Brother. Be there.
Where's the cat?